Death Star, man.
Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
It's kind of interesting to see how they're taking those long gaps of time that we used to have between Star Wars projects and consolidating them into 2-month blocks. This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe, and of course with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey Doug, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, Joe. How you doing?
Doing all right. And when it slows down, now it slows down.
Oh, it slows way down. Yeah. Kind of go into a what would you call it? Like a hibernation, like a news hibernation.
Yeah, like, you know, normally once we get a trailer for something, the everything like really ramps up.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, like even with Obi-Wan, right? We got trailers and then all of a sudden the press tour kicks off, right? And it's like nonstop something.
Right.
Someone, you know, they're all saying, you know, little bits of something, but not saying anything. But at least it was like something to discuss. I mean, it's kind of happening right now with Andor, a little bit. Mandalorian's starting to ramp up a little bit, but it's light. They're not saying anything.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. I don't know. I mean,
like just to kind of put it in perspective, what I'm talking about. So Giancarlo Esposito, right?
Yeah. Right. Yes. He says a lot.
Huh?
He says a lot.
He says a lot, but nothing.
Right.
But so he was asked about season 3.
Right.
And if we'll see Gideon, and what he said, what was the word he said? Most likely, or
I think he was asked
very likely.
What are the chances that we see Moff Gideon in season 3? And his answer was, chances are high.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean that's even saying likely is okay. He'll probably show up.
Yeah, of course.
Chances are high. Well, yeah, the chance is high. I was there. I filmed a couple
Exactly.
things. It might get used. It might not.
Right.
So, but he goes on to say this, right? Says, I got to tell you, just to share something with you without spoiling anything. Season 3 of The Mandalorian is off the chain. You'll be amazed. It's what we got.
Yeah. Well,
now I'll say this: like, what I love about this is Giancarlo Esposito is like the greatest hype man of modern Star Wars.
oh yeah, yeah. Now I will say this from my point of view. I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say that Gideon is going to be escaping from New Republic custody and having some sort of a role to play in season 3 somehow, for him to be talking about it this way, you know, because I don't think
he's going to escape.
I would think he has to, because, you know, I mean, for Giancarlo to say what he's saying here, you know, yeah, it's off the chain. You'll be amazed. Because my character is sitting in a cell and can't do much. It doesn't work that way. It's and I don't think he's the type of guy who's just hanging around on set watching all the other stuff go on, you know? So,
I don't know.
I mean, he's a busy guy. That's all I'm saying. He does a lot of work.
Oh, I get that. But I could see him being the guy when he's on set. He's probably the one that sees the most. Like he would be interested in what else is going on.
Maybe, but I also don't know how, you know, in scenes that he's not really involved in, I don't know how much of that he's even going to see. You know what I'm saying? Because I doubt there's a whole lot of that going on, you know, where if you're not in the scene, you know.
I understand what you're saying.
They've gotten pretty secretive about that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Rosario Dawson talked about how she was going to be playing opposite Plo Koon, not Luke. You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah, that sort. Yeah. So it's like they're pretty tight. Hold all this story stuff real tight to the vest. You know.
Right. So I don't. So I guess you're right. You know, if he's saying that, yeah, he's probably in some cool stuff.
Right. That's my guess.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. So Pedro Pascal was discussing the Mandalorian a little bit, and you know, this idea that Mando's going to find himself in a leadership role.
Ah, yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So he says if he's stepping into a leadership position, he's reluctant to do so. I don't think that there's anything more interesting than a character being forced into discovering what they're capable of and who they are. That part has been really, really fun. Also, from my point of view, there's so many searchable ways to find the tonality of that. I just tried to achieve the subtleties of that kind of character development. So,
interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He can say nothing with a whole lot of words.
Right. Yeah. But okay, so
the meat of that is in the beginning, right?
Yes.
He's reluctant,
and that plays right into what we've seen of him. You know, where we last left him in the book of Boba Fett. You know, he who holds the Darksaber, right?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So there is that going on. You know, he was end of season 2, he's perfectly willing to just hand it over to Bo-Katan, and that wasn't happening. So I guess it's one of those things like, okay, since I have this thing, apparently I have to be the guy, you know?
Right.
But we'll see. Because I would say we've seen him transform once already from, you know, cold, heartless bounty hunter to, you know, now I got this kid. So.
Right.
Maybe we'll see another transformation in Mando.
Yeah, I can see that. All right.
Yeah.
Andor. Back to Andor. So, Tony Gilroy explains why the stagecraft technology wasn't used. You want to go ahead and take this one, buddy?
Sure. It's not much to it.
Right.
But it's so you know, that's all we've been hearing about is the volume and how this is like revolutionizing how television is made, and you know, and it is, you know, let's be fair, it's awesome. But when it comes to Andor, you know, we all know, we've all seen the sets they've built and the photos and the drone shots and this and that. And what Tony Gilroy has to say is nobody's against the volume. The volume is fantastic for the things that it's for. Andor, however, is just on a massively epic scale, and people would be running off the set all the time. So now I've got to say, this goes right along with the trailer we talked about last week and how good it looks, you know, and how I think we talked a lot about how it looks like a film quality show. So kind of makes sense. I don't know. I mean, there's a part of me, I will say, there is a part of me that wonders, you know, this is just my speculation, if, you know, maybe having to get used to actually operating in the volume is going to be something that directors are going to have to like learn to do, kind of thing, where they haven't had to do that sort of thing before. So there might be a little bit of a learning curve. I don't know, because, you know, we saw some pretty big scenes with like in Obi-Wan Kenobi show, you know. But or maybe he's just telling us the truth, and there are some truly enormous, epic shots that would just not work in there, you know, which makes me kind of excited for it.
I mean, I think there are definitely some truly epic shots that wouldn't work in there because just look at some of that scenery, right? It's just massive.
That's true. That's true.
A lot of open air, a lot of outdoor.
Yes.
So, yeah, I guess that would be tough.
I do feel like a lot of the stuff that we've seen in the trailer, though, that it's kind of like indoors type stuff, you know? A lot of that stuff could probably be done in the volume, you know?
Right.
But who knows? I mean, and like I said, you know, we're talking about somebody who's used to working on big sets. So, you know, it might be a change. Who knows? And clearly Disney is okay with doing this show in a different way other than the volume. So,
I mean, we saw the set photos way back when, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They built a whole town.
Exactly. They built a small town. That's exactly right. Yes. That sort of thing was done in Hollywood forever for movies. You know, that's the classic way of doing things. You know, that's this whole stagecraft technology. The volume is it's kind of like new. So, you know, not everybody's going to be so open to it like a Jon Favreau, you know.
Right. Let me ask you this then. Do you think the other thing that's kind of not, I didn't see this being discussed at all. And, do you think the desire to make it look like Rogue One may also have something to do with that? Just because, you know, Rogue One was done in a very practical way, meant to look like Episode 4.
Yeah.
Do you think that look would be harder to achieve in the volume?
In some
Do you
aspects,
think it would look too clean?
Maybe. Some aspects, I think that could have something to do with it. Yeah. I mean, that is one thing we do have to keep in mind. Is that this is, and it should, it's going to have a very Rogue One feel to it, you know. So, which was quite gritty when you think about it, you know. And
yeah, this is meant to show the struggle against the Empire. It's not going to look. If it looks too clean and tidy, might not look like a struggle.
Right. But yeah, so I'm just glad that they're still willing to invest in Star Wars like that, you know. Okay, time to build a small town. All right, let's do that. You know, so
right. Yeah. So he also, was it Gilroy that? Yeah. So he also goes on to explain why K2SO is not going to appear in the first season.
Oh, good.
So I guess I'll what do we got here? It's okay. So first off, the debut season, right? So just laying out the timeline.
Yeah.
The show here, the debut season is covering 1 year in Andor's life, right?
Nice.
So
yep.
The first season is going to be 1 year,
right?
And then the second season is going to cover 4 years,
right? Which I do believe, and to make sure we're all clear, it says the second and final season.
Yes,
will cover 4 years. I do believe that was pared down from originally a 5-season,
yes,
you know, projection. But I believe what they're looking at doing now is like 4 3-episode arcs for each year,
right,
in season 2. So it'd be interesting to see how that works out.
It even says that the last scene of the show, that in the 24th episode, will walk the audience directly into Rogue One and directly into the first scene of Rogue One.
Nice. I mean, for now, okay. For everyone who might not like what I have to say, I'm sorry, but this is the way to do that sort of thing. This we know where we see, we were first introduced to Cassian Andor, and we know exactly how that goes down. To walk right into that works. Starting an episode of a Skywalker trilogy film, immediately following a prior one, that didn't. Just saying. Anyway,
right?
This I think has a lot of potential to,
Well, I mean, would that have been so bad if you don't have this epic finale with this music and walking up these stairs? This is the journey to Luke Skywalker. She holds out the lightsaber. Luke turns, takes his hood off, and then we go to black, right?
Right.
Now, was that hurt because you pick up right there, right? And then Luke just chucks the lightsaber behind him?
Yes. It was hurt by that, yes.
It's like, oh man, that kind of diminishes the ending of the last one.
Yes, certainly.
It was hilarious. Don't get me wrong. I laughed.
Yeah.
Thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I you're left thinking wow, that's kind of stomped on that last scene.
Yes, I had an uneasy laugh at that point, I will say. Yes.
So.
But here, we meet Cassian doing something that, it's all about getting the job done. Sorry, this guy's a liability right now. He's just got to go. And he doesn't think twice about it. We're going to see, I think, what makes him that way.
Right.
Which very interesting for me. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
That this show, I'll tell you what, I am really, really hyped.
Yeah,
really, really
sure.
hyped up for this show. Way more so than I thought I would be. I thought I was gonna, be really excited for it, but I'm more excited than I thought I would be.
Exactly. This is, again, sorry, been saying it for a while. I had a feeling, but this is going to be a sleeper hit. It's going to be the sort of thing you start talking to friends. Hey, have you checked out the Andor show? No, I just wasn't that interested. And be like, dude, you've got to see this show. I think after 2 or 3 episodes, everyone's going to be talking that way, so I mean,
it kind of makes sense. Rogue One was the sleeper film, right?
Oh yeah. And for many fans, heralded as the best Disney era Star Wars film, which
I feel that.
Yeah, so do I, honestly. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you watch that film, there was a lot of stake to it, right? Because you didn't know any of these characters.
Right.
You had no idea where these characters were going to end up, how it was going to end. I mean, you had a little bit of an idea because, we didn't see any of them later.
Exactly.
So, I mean, there's a chance it's not going to be good. But at the same time, it didn't really feel like they were all going to die.
Yeah. There was a part of me that was thinking, okay, how do they get out of this? They're going to get out of this, and they're going to go off on some other adventure. Oh no, Death Star's firing. Okay, they're dead. That's it's like, okay. But yeah, I mean, even with that being said, it's like I said, it's heralded as the best by a lot of fans, and up there, what I'd say with most fans. So
yeah, I think you'd be hard pressed to find too many fans that did not enjoy Rogue One.
right.
So yeah, I mean, this show's just got that potential.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it was realized, that what Tony Gilroy did when he came in to work on the project, made it what it was, and that's why he's working on the show. And so doing things the way he wanted to do them, filming on locations and things of that nature, okay, we're going to give him what he wants because he made that movie. He had a big hand in making that movie what it was. And for me, I feel like it's Disney Lucasfilm recognizing, yes, we need to invest in this because that was one of the hits, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right. So I don't know much about this one.
Hold on a second, Joe.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, just before we move on and people go, hey, you didn't talk about K2SO.
Oh, duh. Wow, good save.
Yeah, thanks.
Good save. We go down this little side track and
exactly
completely gonna blow through the whole reason I brought it up.
Right.
All right. So he says, Tony Gilroy, that is, says, from a storytelling point of view, there are multiple reasons. I would say wait and see. It's a story we are eager to tell. It's difficult to carry an Imperial droid around with you and not draw all kinds of attention. It's a difficult piece of luggage. When we do it, we'll do it in a spectacular fashion as opposed to presenting it and ignoring it or presenting it or hiding it, or the bad versions we would have been forced to do. So he's just saying they don't want to screw this up.
Yeah, it's a long way of saying that. Exactly.
Yeah. And Diego Luna talks about it as well. He says, we have 5 years before the events in Rogue One. If he knew K2 back then, there would be no journey to go through. This is where I think we really pick it up.
Yeah. He's
saying he's going to meet K2.
Yeah.
In this show. We're going to get K2SO's introduction. Because he says we're starting him being Cassian. We're starting him so far away from the person who would know how to or be motivated to reprogram an Imperial droid.
Right. So that means we're going back.
Yeah.
Back into Cassian's life a little bit, which cool. We're gonna see this progression in the character, which I think would be awesome. We know where he ends up. We know what type of a guy he becomes working for the Alliance, and something's got to make him that way.
Right.
So, being able to see his progression, because he actually kind of lays it out here, a person who would know how to. So we're going to know him before he would even understand the technology or be motivated to, right? Yeah, it doesn't have a reason. Well, we're going to see why he ends up having a reason. That's good. So, that's all that lends itself to story elements as far as I'm concerned. And that's what I love about Star Wars. Those are the things that I just, that drive me for Star Wars. Story. Give me story. Mm-hmm. And hopefully it'll be good.
Oh, agreed. But The good news here is too, it's not a character that's being overlooked. They're explaining why.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
It's not there right away.
Right.
So I think it's an important character to have.
Well,
just-
everyone loved that character in Rogue One, so I think it would be important for us to see K2 in the lead up to Rogue One. So
yeah, absolutely. All right.
yeah, moving on now.
For real this time.
Yeah.
We're allowed to this time. We actually talked about what we came to talk about.
Exactly.
Can't believe I almost did that. Glad you were paying attention. Because I hate it when that happens. Like you end up going back and going, oh man.
You primed everyone for the story, so we had to talk about it, right? So
yeah. All right. So I don't know much about this one. So you're gonna have to enlighten me, Doug. You just had me write down Rosario Dawson. So
okay. So she was, let's see, she was at C2E2, and taking questions from the crowd, and I got to, the video that was taken is clearly a fan with a cell phone type of thing, and so some of it was hard to make out, some of it questions that didn't pertain to a whole lot and give us a whole lot of insight. This one question though was curious, I'll say, but I guess she was asked about she's seen anything from Ahsoka coming up, and she's had here's what she had to say.
I'm gonna say, so I will say this. I will probably get in trouble for saying this. But Dave saw one of the episodes already edited together, and he walked up, him and Carrie Beck, both glossy-eyed, and he said to me that it was a religious experience.
So, if you didn't catch that, she said Dave Filoni has seen one of the episodes cut together and said it was a religious experience. So, I mean, I think for Dave, seeing this show come together in live action, yeah, it could be totally a religious experience for him.
Well, he lived this character for so long. Right?
Exactly. Yes.
This character was a good portion of his life.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So that's cool to hear, though. And I do gotta say this: he's I watched it. It was a religious experience. Did you watch it when you were making it?
Right.
I thought you were directing.
Right.
Now, I'll say this: seeing and hearing something that you make, right? You don't pick it all up along the way, right? When you listen to or watch the final product, that's when you're like, oh wow, that really came together well.
Absolutely. I mean, there's going to be things if he's seeing it, if he's seeing the final cut, seeing how to see the final cut for the first time, right? Maybe with the all the new visual effects and everything finally added in and all that, then yes, it becomes whole, right? Joe, in music, right? You can play through songs and left and right, and then you start recording tracks, and you start to hear tracks build, and not till you come back and you hear the final backing vocals or something is recorded does it all finally come together. It could be the same sort of deal, but I think that kind of
I mean,
If
you know, that comparison there. I mean, even just listening to like your rough mixes, right, when everything's not
right,
it got the final mastering on it and levels are a little off, and
yeah,
you know, and then you hear the final mix and you're like, okay, yeah, that sounds good. I thought it sounded like crap before. Like,
exactly. Yes, I mean that's kind of what I'm getting at. You know, if it's a final cut of an episode, I could see it having that effect on Dave, and I just hope that means, you know, all good things for us, which I have no doubt. Honestly, this is the one show that I'm like, you know, I'm just sitting back waiting for it to come because I have a feeling it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be epic in my mind. I don't think I'm going to be let down, but I hope I don't get my hopes up too high either. Right?
well, you know, we talk about, we were just talking about Andor, right? And you use that word again, sleeper.
Right.
I mean, this is one that's not, right?
Exactly. This is
not.
Everybody's anticipating this.
Yeah.
We've talked about how in fandom, Ahsoka is like the most beloved character in fandom, and there's no denying it, right? And so you're right. This is not a sleeper. This is like the one everyone's waiting for. You know. So yeah, I think expectations are high, and yeah, go ahead.
Cassian's story is like that's the one that's got the potential, like, wow, that's a story I didn't know I wanted.
Right.
Yes. Everybody knows going in, like, we want an Ahsoka story. We want more Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Even though we've gotten a ton.
Exactly.
You know, I've been seeing that being thrown around lately. Like, I've seen people even go so far as to say Ahsoka is the most overused character in the Star Wars universe.
Who says this?
Dude, get out.
No, I stay off of social media.
I know. I was just going to tell you get on social media, but good luck with that.
Right.
But no, seriously, this is a conversation that I've seen kind of tossed around a little bit, and I'm like reading it like, y'all are nuts.
Exactly.
But yeah. I guess I'm coming at it from a different point of view. You know, a lot of these people are people who want more Rey, want more, you know, newer characters.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I respect that.
Sure.
You know, we all have our favorites.
Right.
So, like, Ahsoka being one of, if not my favorite character in Star Wars, yeah, I'm not going to be saying, oh, yeah, I've had enough.
Right.
You know, that's like me saying, like, I don't want any more Vader.
Oh, yeah. 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 Nobody ever said that. That's which, I don't know. I got a feeling we might see him in Andor. I think it could happen.
Well, I mean, Hayden was on set for
well
for the other one. So
here's why I say this, right? We see in the trailer we're going to see Saw, yes, and it was rumored that the injuries we see that Saw has taken in Rogue One were rumored to be inflicted by Vader himself. Now,
you think that's a story we?
Well, maybe
see in this.
Maybe. I don't know.
I would be surprised.
But, and I'm not saying necessarily season 1, but, you know, it's possible. I wouldn't say they shouldn't have done it if they did.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like I said, never will you hear me say, yeah, it's just been too much Vader. Don't need no more of that.
Exactly.
So,
and honestly, feel the same way about Ahsoka still. So
yeah. I have not been burned out on Ahsoka yet.
No, not at all.
So,
And for all those who are longing for, something else from Rey, Finn, and Poe, the amount of work that they put into those films, I think, was a lot for a few years straight. You know what I'm saying? So everyone needed to do something else, take a break, that sort of thing. I think we've heard in interviews lately how all of these actors are kind of, when these movies first got done and released, Rise of Skywalker was out, I think they were all kind of burnt on them.
yeah, they were all kind of like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Exactly. I think we've kind of heard them all soften up to possibly doing something in the future. So, give it time.
I mean, Daisy Ridley was the notable, right? That
Absolutely.
was pretty much a hard no.
Yes, exactly.
And she's warming to the idea now.
Right.
So, yeah, give it a couple more years and...
Yeah, I could see something happening.
Now, she did give a hard no and then go on to voice a bunch of stuff, so...
Right. That's different, though,
I'm just saying it's less of a hard no than it than it appeared to be.
Yeah.
But at that initial, she's like, done. We told that story.
Exactly. Again, for another music metaphor, it's like the classic rock band. This is our 10th final tour.
Right. Yeah. What Kiss is on like farewell tour number 9, right? Like,
something like that. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, look at Oscar Isaac, right? Like, he went running away. He's like,
Heck yeah.
how much has that dude been in? Like, since Star Wars? It's insane.
Right.
And like, franchise stuff too.
Yeah.
He went over to Marvel. He went over to he's doing Dune. He's done in Dune, but I mean, he was doing Dune.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, he wasn't tired of working. He was tired of working on Star Wars for the moment. Yep. Yeah.
Which, I mean, I would love to see those three reunited just because of the chemistry they had.
Exactly.
I mean, their chemistry alone was intoxicating.
Yes.
So, especially out and about, away from Star Wars, but like at the fan events and stuff like that.
Yeah, totally.
It was just an electric chemistry, and it was really fun to watch.
Yes. Now, I got to be honest. I look forward to, if we see something in the future from those characters, I think this is where we can actually kick off a new era in Star Wars, where we actually get to see possibly Rey training Finn while Poe is leading the New Republic military, and that sort of thing,
Right.
And I think it's gonna be the actual payoff for all of the setup that those 3 sequel films were,
Yeah.
That's what I think we could actually see, which I'm down for that.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to see Finn get the lightsaber he had in the poster.
Yes, exactly. Totally.
So, well, looking around here, anything else, Doug?
Wow. Oh, that went quick, didn't it?
That did. So, all right. Well, if you have anything to add, you can always email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. It's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media, @thewarsandmore on Twitter, facebook.com/thewarsandmore, @thewarsandmore on Instagram. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsandmore.com. This is a little redundant, but any final thoughts this week, Doug?
No, I think that about covers it.
All right. We will talk next week.